Yeah, and I have to say, it's somewhat of an irony given my position in politics today, but pretty much prior to 2012, I can say I didn't really have much of an interest in politics. But I do remember that first campaign back in 2010 and 2011, and I especially remember in the run-up to the 2011 Scottish elections when we had at least one councillor who was campaigning to become an MSP at that time. And I do remember him coming to my door. I won't name him, I won't name the party, but coming to my door saying that he was fully against this incinerator and would campaign against it in the Parliament. And I had to point out to him that I did recall that he had voted for it in the council. And I do remember the crestfallen look in his face when I pointed this out to him, and it was obvious that many people in the village had also pointed this out to him.
Yeah, I think this is actually quite an important point, actually, because I think when we look at the issues that there are nationally, there are some issues which actually stretch beyond politics, and this is one of them when it comes to health and the environment, where it united a whole community regardless of their politics. And that was one of the things that we've continued to this point today. We've got a core group which is made up of all parties and none, but we've decided we're not going to support any party. However, we did state, and we did do it previously in 2010, decide that we would oppose those individuals who supported this application. In fact, so much so that at the following council elections, the councillor who was the chair of planning lost his seat, as did others. And we went to every polling station, regardless of our own views on the politics of it, and we campaigned outside those stations all day. We then continued that campaign to the parliamentary, I think it was 2011, if I remember rightly, and the then finance minister, Tom McCabe, actually stated himself that his loss in the campaign was down to the fact that there was a community campaign which had a backlash on his party at that time for passing the application. So equally so, there's candidates who were successful, who actually supported the campaign, as a consequence got themselves elected. So I think it was a warning right across, not just South Lanarkshire, but other councils as well, to say, look, when a community objects against something so strongly, they need to have a voice, and we felt our voice wasn't being heard. So it was a real wake-up call. And also it was alerted people to the wider issues, obviously the environmental side of it as well.
Yeah, there are very, very few things in politics more deleterious than a community expressing their view and then it being overruled, as that planning proposal was.